Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skatedown. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. So I'm titling this video, The Devils Suck, Something's Got to Be Done. Because after this 6-1 loss to the Flyers, something has got to be done by Fitzgerald, and I don't know what can be done at this point. This team looks lost. They're 10, 12, and 5, 27 games into the year. They're 7th in the Metro, and they look lost out there. You know, they're losing these games that they should have had, especially to the Islanders and the Flyers. They should have taken advantage of these teams because they're on bad stretches themselves where they're trying to turn their season around. These are two of the games that they really should have tried to take advantage of, and they lost them. So, Devils are looking like they're on a free fall, and something's got to be done. Is it a coaching change? Is it a trade at this point? I don't know, but something has to right the ship because they look lost out there. You know, they're falling victim in these games very fast. Down by multiple goals, and it's hard for them to get back into these games. And you see, once even one goal is scored against them, they have their heads down skating around. And, you know, this is something that's happened a couple of years ago, and it's got to change. It really does. You have a young team. I know they're pushing that in all the fans' heads that we're the youngest team in the league, but you don't want them to get that mentality year after year of going through with these losses and, you know, looking forward to the draft, and you're turning it around. I understand they're a young team. They're going to go through this sort of adversity, you know, as a learning experience. But, you know, at some point, you know, they got to realize themselves. They got to do something to help this team win, and you know, not wait year after year. So, you know, hopefully something changes because they look horrible out there, and it's everything across the board. It's net minding, it's defense, it's offense, it's coaching especially. Something's got to be done because they're just looking like they're on a free fall. The way they're losing these games is bad. A lot of losses. You could pinpoint a couple of different losses throughout the year. That Flames loss, that Wild loss, the Nashville losses, the Jets loss was the biggest one to me. You know, when they fall down 3-0 in the game, you think the game's lost. They scramble to get back into that game 3-3. They go ahead in that game 4-3, and you're like, all right, they're showing something. Then they just totally take their foot off the gas and lose that game 8-4. And I think that was the biggest loss to me this year because it just showed something. You know, for a team to get back into the game like that and to just totally lose it, it just showed something about leadership, about just everything, you know, just everything in that game. And, you know, to me, that's where the season really shifted. And, you know, since then, it's been one good game, they lose 3 or 4, and they just have no consistency throughout the rest of the year. And, you know, something's got to be done with this. It really does. And I hope Fitzgerald can do something to really right this ship. So, you know, I want to talk about their drafting. I want to talk about what's gone wrong this year. I want to talk about stuff that could be done to help this season for the Devils. So, you know, looking at their draft in the past couple of years, this is at a point where the Devils should really get going. You know, they got Luke Hughes at 4, they got Holtz at 7, you know, lucking out with Mercer at 18, lucking out with Smith at 17. I know he's had an off year this year, but Smith is a promising young defenseman that you know, to get him at that time in the draft was good. You get Hughes at 1, you get Heischer at 1, you get Zacha at 6. You know, this is something that should be. You drafted well the past couple of years. You got to get it going. You got to add key pieces through trades and through free agency, which they have done. I like what they've done with Hamilton. He's been just a gem of a player to sign. Graves was a good trade because he's really bolstered the size and toughness of this defense. But they still have to keep adding because the way this team's looking now, there's got to be some things that are done. So looking at what's gone wrong this year, definitely goaltending. And since Mackenzie Blackwood took that hit from Capo Caco, he's not been the same to me. He's letting in goals that should be saved. He just looks not as sharp out there. And now with Bernier going down, something has to be done in net because they haven't addressed it yet. I'm sure they will in time. But, you know, goaltending's going to be a tough stretch with going forward. Defense has been bad this year. You know, Smith has had an off year. Severson is the same. You know, I know Severson's a huge debate amongst Devils fans. I know some of them like him, some of them don't like him, but you know, you look at his stats, he does provide offense, but his defense is questionable, and it's just game after game. It's the same thing and year after year. Siegenthaler and Subban, you know, they need to pick it up. So those 4 have been very consistent. You know, Hamilton and Graves have been good, but those bottom 4, you know, consistency needs to be a factor with them. Lack of scoring. our offense has been bad. And when you watch these games, they just have no offensive strategy out there. It seems like they're doing the same thing, and teams are picking it apart very quickly. The stretch passing has been a lot this year, more often this year than the past couple of years. But something's got to be done, and a lot of players aren't living up to how they were playing the last year. Especially Sharon Govich, Quokinen, McLeod provided some offense last year, and I know they're just hammering into Devils fans that, oh, he's good on faceoffs this year, which he is, but you want to see him add some offense out there and to help out like he did last year. So not having those three going, missing Miles Wood for a lot of the time this year, and I think they said until March, hurt this team. It really did. Miles Wood adds something to this team. He adds physicality, sticks up for players. He adds speed. He adds goal scoring. He adds a lot of other things to this team, intangibles that they're really missing and they really need. Missing Hughes for a good part of the year. So injuries have played a part in this year, and a lot of players not living up to the bill. I'm going to add Tatar too. We expected more from him. He's been putting together some points here and there, but he's not lived up to what we thought he would. VZ's been okay since we signed him. Not really a lot of offense, but he does provide at a key points. But this team needs to get going offensively and to help win some games. The shuffling of lines has been a question mark. When they finally have some lines starting to get going, Lindy Ruff changes it, and it really just changes everything. And I understand his mentality of it to try to get other players going, but when you have a couple of lines that are going and producing, to go and change that really shifted everything to me. And consistency, like I said before, this win one game, lose 3 or 4 isn't going to do anything to help with this, with us getting forward into this season. So that has to change this year. And what can be done? Lindy Ruff has tried the bag skate for that one time that we've heard of, and it really didn't do anything. So can that be something we hear more of? Healthy scratches be something which got Jesper Bratt going early in the year, can ignite some other players to do so as well. Could a key trade be made? Can Fitzgerald find something to bring something in to help this team out? I hope they add an offensive winger that provides some sort of physicality. They need that. You see a lot of these players getting bullied around out there. They don't have that fight in them. They don't have that pesky play like other players have in the past. And we need that. We need that sort of player to help this team out, especially in the top 6. I understand you want to bring in some players like that to help with adding that physical element, but you need more of that in your top 6 that can provide offense as well. Coaching change. Now, this is a lot of things that a lot of Devils fans are hoping happens. We've seen the most recent changes with other teams throughout the league, and maybe Lindy Ruff's name's out there. Maybe some assistant coaches are like Nazardine and Recchi have names have been out there with fans. Will they be looking for a new job? But I don't think Lindy Ruff is gonna get fired. I think they brought him in for a specific reason to help out the youth on this team, and I don't see that happening. But we'll see what happens. I think something definitely has to be done after this game. This loss and the Islanders loss were two games the Devils should have had. Those are teams that are like us, struggling recently, where Devils should have taken advantage of, and especially having all these home games and falling in them. It's just a loss for this year at this point. So, hopefully Fitzgerald could do something to save this year, because it's looking like a free fall at this point. And I know we have the youngest team in the league, but I know they're going to go through these years of as a learning experience. But you don't want them to have that in them year after year, where they're okay with losing. I don't want that to happen. So comment below what you think about this. What do you think can be done to save this Devils season? I know Devils fans at this point have their heads down, but hopefully better games are ahead. So comment below what you think about this. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time. Smash that like button and subscribe to Hockey Skatedown. Join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.